The Gospel of John ends in this way. It says, Jesus did many other things as well. If every one of them were written down, I suppose that even the whole world would not have room for the books that would be written. The Gospel of John is filled with all the other Gospels, filled with different signs and miracles of Jesus. And the way you could count it is you could count up 37 miracles of how Jesus changed people's lives in the course of their lives. And we are people in which we are called to continue to prepare miracles so the miracle maker can happen. So, I would love for us to just examine how Jesus saw the need. Well, number one, he took time to get out of the temple. One of the things I love about the Gospels is you rarely ever see Jesus in the temple. He's always out and about. And crowds just followed him naturally. Number two, he saw and he asked questions. One of the scriptures that's in my mind right now is he asked the question, do you want to be made well? He gives the permission of the other person to say yes or no. Number three, he acted with love. He did not care whether you had leprosy. He did not care about his reputation. He just cared about the person who was in need, and he acted in love. I think those are three things as people of faith we should strive to do and to be. To be in places where we see a need, to ask questions, to build relationships, and to three, to be so fervent in our love for Christ that we don't care about what happens to our reputation as long as people are seen, heard, and loved. There's more miracles to prepare, and we have several stories today from our own very church in which we saw a need, and as a result, Christ, the miracle maker, met us, and a miracle happened. So please join me in this conversation. So Ricque, as long as I've known you, you seem like you've always been a person who's extremely passionate about helping others in need, especially those who are homeless. How did that come to fruition? Like, how did you start doing that? Was there something that happened in your life?
So actually there was a moment almost 2 years ago. I was driving home from work, and I still remember the exact location. It was Highway 2 and I think it was 93rd Street. And there was a homeless man standing there. And a lot of times I don't stop for them, but something told me that I should. And I kept thinking about it. And I eventually went home and then drove back. And I had a couple of dollars, and that's all I had. But I went to give it to him. And he was so appreciative. And in the midst of talking to him, I found out his name was Ricque also. And that just really hit me. And I felt like this was more, it was a God moment. And I stopped and helped him a couple more times. And then I've never seen him again, but not a day goes by that I don't think about him, especially when I drive past that intersection. And he was really the moment and the reason why I started wanting to help out homeless people more. Just his kindness and his appreciation. And so that was really what kind of pushed me into doing a lot more at the People City Mission and wanting to help people.
Awesome. That's a really cool story. So you saw and you asked, and then you acted with great faith. That's awesome. So talk to us a little about what you've seen at maybe the People City Mission in particular that kind of caused you to like wrestle and to put your faith into action. So what did you do with the church this year to really create a space for a miracle to happen?
Well, when we did a Christmas party there a couple of years ago, I think at that time there was like 70 plus kids at the City Mission. And one thing that had happened, knowing how many kids there were, when I look at my children, my kids are huge avid book readers, and they love going to the library all the time. And that just got me thinking about how sometimes there's children who don't have that ability to go do stuff like that, where they can just go to the library or where they have a shelf full of books at their house. So I started thinking maybe that's something that we can do for the kids at the City Mission is give them that ability to go to like a library and check out books and have that ability to read books, and like a lot of kids have.
Yeah.
So that was so when I talked to someone at the City Mission about it and they showed me where they were thinking that the books would go, I saw that there was, I think they had maybe 20 books for all of the kids at the City Mission. And so after that, it was okay. We're not only going to get them books, but we are going to stock this library full of books, so that way these kids have the same opportunity that our kids have. And then after that, that grew. Once we were able to create a little library for the kids, that grew into, well, let's not only give them a place where they can check out books, but why don't we just give them books? Because I know when I was younger, and even with my kids, one of the greatest joys is going to be able to those, what do they call them at the school, when you get to go like a book drive, or where you get to go pick out your own book and buy it, and it's a brand new book and no one has ever seen it, and that is so much fun. So I thought, let's do that for the kids. So we were able to collect 300 brand new, never used books, and every month we set them out at the city mission, and the kids get to come and pick out their own books. And we even have adult women who, they come and they'll pick out some books for themselves or for their grandkids. So it's been really fun to be able to provide that for them, and to see that joy of them getting to not only pick out their own book, but then they know that they get to keep it.
That's pretty cool. And we recently did a some sort of sack lunches for the homeless, or not the homeless, but the people who are utilizing the help center with the People City Mission. And that was also because of you being willing to go where need was happening. So what caused you to kind of have that be a spark for this action?
So there was one day I was over at the City Mission Help Center just dropping off donations, and when I was driving around to the front, I saw a huge line of people, probably 30, 40, 50 people in line. And I remember calling you and asking what's going on at the help center. There's so many people in line. And this was probably close to wintertime when it was quite cold out. And so you told me that it was probably one of their shopping days. And so then that got me thinking that what is something that we can do for these individuals while they're standing in line, especially if it's really cold out, or just at any time. What can we do so that way these people know that they're loved, that they're seen? And so that was when the idea came of, maybe we could make them sack lunches when they are waiting in line. So they have some food, but then they also know someone cares about them. Amen. So we were able to not only give them sack lunches, but we were able to use some of the toiletries kits from our toiletry drive here at church and give those to the individuals, which there was such a great need for that. It was almost overwhelming. And we had a lot of people just telling us thank you. But that's where it really came from, it was seeing these people just standing out in the cold and thinking, what can we do for these individuals so that way they know that they're loved.
Most certainly. That's a powerful story. In the scripture we just read, it talks about how there's so many different miracles Jesus, or signs according to the Apostle John, in which we could not record. And I believe that God continues to speak, and I also believe that God continues to invite. Right? So if you wanted to say anything to whoever's watching this about like how their ideas, if they have any ideas, anything that they see, witness in their own lives, if they have anything like that, what would you tell them? Would you have them tell us their idea, and what would happen with that idea potentially?
I encourage people all the time, especially our youth or anybody that we're around, if you have an idea, come to us and we'll make it happen. Has
there been a time recently where a youth's idea went into practice?
Yes, we had when we were in one of our small groups with youth, we were talking about what are some things we can do for our community, and one of the high schoolers mentioned putting together homeless kits. And so we recently were able to go shopping and buy stuff for 30 homeless kids, and the group put together all the homeless kits, and there's, I think, 12 to 15 of us who have these homeless kits in our cars just waiting to be given out. And I think that was such an amazing thing, because sometimes we have these ideas, but we're either too hesitant to start, or we don't know how to start. And so when you have someone that you're able to kind of talk to help make that happen, it's a powerful thing. And I feel like once you do it the first time, you just want to keep going with it. And so that's why we encourage people, if you have an idea, come to us and we will make it a reality, because that's how this starts. Is one thing, and you see what happens and how it impacts someone, and it's just, you just want to keep doing it.
Most definitely. So if you're watching this, please let us know your ideas. We would love to do this with you and prepare a miracle so God, the miracle maker, can continue to move and speak life to people who are in need. So we want to thank you guys for your time, and your gals for your time today, and we look forward to hearing your comments, whether below this or even in person. We're always readily available to speak and share life with you, and we'll just continue to go out there, see the world, and just try to follow Jesus the way he lived his life. See a need and build a relationship, and respond with the greatest love. So we hope you all have a beautiful week and continue to be strengthening your kindness muscle. God bless y'all.